Straight Talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, all right here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.
We are back with another Simply Straight Talk podcast. And the fact that you're here to join us, now that's love. You know your host, Reggie, tries to keep it positive, but the topic of today's show says it all. Politics and sex scandals. Have you had enough? I think we can all use a break from the negativity. OMG. Reggie, can we all just get along? Talk to us.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Simply Straight Talk. And you heard the sweet Amber. You heard what she said. Today, we're talking about politics and sex scandals. Have you had enough? You know what? When we came up with this topic, I was like, what are we sick of? What is everybody so sick of hearing? Because no matter what news station you turn on, what talk show you listen to, this is what you're going to hear about. This is all that you're hearing about. Now, let me just rattle off a few things that is still hot topics today. Hillary Clinton's emails, Harvey Weinstein and hashtag #MeToo, Donald Trump grabbing women, public shootings, schools, event massacre shootings, white nationalist rallies, Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels, Donald Trump and Russia allegations, Donald Trump and the P allegations, Donald Trump and immigration, North Korea and China, Donald Trump Twitter feeds, Donald Trump and the media, Bill Cosby drugging women, police called on blacks for going to public pools in their community, 8-year-old girl selling water, young black kid cutting the grass, and a black man sitting in Starbucks. Meanwhile, Puerto Rico is still trying to get some power, and Hawaii is being overtaken by a volcano that's spewing lava. But this, what we'd rather talk about, I'm getting too excited. We'd rather talk about the other stuff. Now, you notice there was one name that was commonly mentioned, okay? Several times, Donald Trump came up. Donald Trump. Now the man is over there in England, disrespecting the Queen. And you know what's funny? Donald Trump had 17 minutes with the Queen. He only had a little bit of time with the Queen and he gone. Obama went over there, him and Michelle, you know what I'm saying? President Obama, I'm gonna still call him that, and First Lady Michelle, who knew how to wear and carry their role as leaders of a country morally, okay? They went over there, had dinner, and spent the night. Whereas Donald Trump, he even said it himself in one of the interviews. He was talking about, I gave her some advice. Well, I gave her some suggestions and she didn't really take to them too well. Well, what do you expect, man? Look at you. Look what you're doing. Look what you're doing to the country, to the people. But this is all that we're hearing. And tell me something, Simply Straight Talk family. Have you had enough? Do you feel like I do? Like you just want to wake up one morning, where there is nothing about Donald Trump in the news, where there is nothing about no political unrest, fights, protests, school shootings. I mean, you just want to wake up and just be like, wow, it's going to be a good day. You're not worried about your health care and all this other stuff. You know what I would love to wake up and hear? Puerto Rico has full power and the country is being restored. The whole island has power. The people are starting to revive and live again. See, I would love for a news story to break like that. See, that's what I would love to hear. I would love to hear, the United States is sending troops over and they're sending special aid to help Hawaii recover, get the families into homes. The lava is cooling down now. The volcano has stopped, so we are now making progress. We're preparing to get these people back on their feet. See, that's the type of stuff I would like to hear. I would love to hear Kalita Smith call me too. Regina Bell, Regina Hall, actually. Shantae Moore. Okay, I'm getting off subject. Okay, so the thing about it is, we have to realize that all this negativity and all this stuff we're hearing, And people say, well, it's the media. The media is pushing all this stuff on us. Well, the media just do what they do. They do because they feel like this is what everybody wants to hear. This is what everybody wants to know. And Donald Trump is just providing so much comedy, not only for comedians. He brought Saturday Night Live back to life, and he's proud of that. He actually says, you know what? I make shows' ratings go up. Yeah, you make shows' ratings go up by you looking like an idiot, by you doing dumb stuff. But the point is, there is so much negativity in America right now. I mean, there's just so much going on, and it seems like most of it is just not positive. I mean, we're always hearing about the countries who we considered our beloved allies are looking at us now like, we about really don't want nothing to do with y'all. But that's where we're headed. That's where we're headed. Nobody wants to fool with the United States of America. Why? Because it's full of drama and full of negativity. Because that's all we're hearing about. That's all we're hearing. Social media. I mean, and it's gotten to the point now to where I did a little short video that I posted a couple of weeks ago because people are passing around fight videos. Okay? Now, this is how I say the negativity is having a negative impact on our youth, because people are passing around fight videos now. And let me tell you about these fight videos. Now, I'm talking about the ones with the kids, because you either have kids in the neighborhoods that are fighting, you have kids either fighting at school, but sometimes you had a parent sitting there letting the kids fight, letting them fight, just letting them knock down, drag out. Then all the other people start fighting. And I'm like, nobody wants to break this up. Nobody wants to get involved. Nobody wants to try to talk to these kids and show them an alternative way to handle their anger or their conflict. Just push them to fight. Push them to fight. But see, here's the thing about it. When you support stuff like these fight videos, what happens is the police comes into the neighborhood, and everybody knows the Black community does not have a good relationship with the police department. When they're breaking up a fight, their adrenaline goes up. And when their adrenaline goes up, that means somebody Black is going to die or get hurt. So why would you want to give them a reason to come into our neighborhoods and hurt somebody? Why? It makes absolutely no sense. You should want them to come when they're really needed. There's a situation they really needed to respond to. Having them come in our neighborhood because people are fighting, and then you're so engaged in the fight that you don't see them coming, that you start fighting them, then they start shooting you. You got to start thinking. You got to start thinking, man. Come on. We can't be doing stuff like this. We can't be glorifying violence and immoral behavior. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And a lot of this, I'm going to be honest with you. Now, I'm not going to drop his name too much because I'm not really fond of the guy. But a lot of this is stemming from the person that we didn't put in office. The Electoral College put Donald Trump in office. And he is an epitome of violence. This guy has said on his campaign trails, I can go out in the middle of the street and shoot somebody, punch that guy. He said this stuff. It's on TV coming out of his mouth. But you just get tired of it. It's like, man, here we go again. Something negative. Something to happen. It's like that's all you hear. And you know what? The worst thing is, it's gotten to the point now to where it's so negative, but it's to the point to where it's comical. I mean, when you really watch those congressmen, when they was interviewing the FBI guy, and you hear he just back there sitting there back with a smirk on his face, and they up there fighting with each other. I mean, it was ridiculous to hear these guys fighting with each other. I'm like, dude, y'all supposed to be leaders of the world, and y'all sitting there fighting like little kids, man. I'm like, for real, this is what America come to? So who do our children have to look up to? Because when you start talking about the American government, hold on, let me ask you this. Can you imagine years from now when they start writing the history books and they start to cover this time frame? Can you imagine how all these kids are probably going to be sitting in their classrooms laughing? They're going to think this was some type of comedy show. Like, man, they're going to be like, hey, Pops, man, y'all was off the chain back then, man. What y'all had going on? I mean, was that really supposed to be the president? Was that really supposed to be the Congress? I mean, because it's off the chain. It's stupid. It is so stupid. When you really listen to it and hear it, it's like, wow, for real? For real? That's what we doing now? I tell you what, I'm going to give y'all a little clip of it so you can hear it. You probably heard it, but go on, laugh again. I mean, they denied one man his rights to even talk to an attorney. I'm like, it is so funny right now. It is so crazy. It is crazy what's going on. But, I try to keep things positive. I try to find other things to, focus on and other things to do. I try to put stuff out there positive. I mean, even because sometimes when things get so negative, I'll go and add something to my blog. I do a new blog article, something positive, or I get back into the music and I'll write a song, which I need to start. I got a couple songs I'm supposed to finish up. I'll write a song. And, I do something to take my mind away from everything that's going on, because the more you listen to it, the more crazy you get. It is absolutely crazy of how this world is becoming. And I mean, it's like, what can you do? What can you do? What would you do, Simply Straight Talk family? If you can change something about the way things are portrayed right now, what would you change? Would you change social media? Would you get rid of Congress? Get rid of the current person who simply holds the title of president? I mean, what would you do to change it? Or what do you do when you feel like everything is so negative? Now, I know you can change the TV, turn the TV off, turn the radio off, and all that type of stuff. But how do you go about doing it so you're not hearing it, but you're putting something back out there positive? So you're not just lingering with the negative aspects. You're actually trying to replace it with something positive. Now, do you do that? Have you considered that? I would love to hear your ideas, because that's the type of stuff that really makes a difference. Is you have to find a way to replace the negative with the positive. And I know it's not always easy, because sometimes you got stuff going on at home. You got your kids may be acting up in school. You may have somebody dealing with a medical situation. You might be in a relationship that's sort of on the fence. You don't know whether it's going to live or make it or whatever. So it's like your relationship is alive one day, then it's dead the next day. You got family members you might be dealing with, drama on the job, drama from with your boss, or you're trying to find a job, you're trying to make more money, you're trying to pay all these bills. So it's a lot of stuff that can have you negative. So how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it so you motivate yourself and encourage yourself that, yeah, things can get better? I just got to hang in there. I just got to do better. Do you talk to yourself? Or do you rely on church? Do you go to your Bible? Do you turn to the Lord, which is what everybody should do, Or do you put on your gospel music? I mean, what do? Do you work out? Do you find a nice place to go, like a park or a beach or whatever's close to you? Something that gives you a peaceful, serene type feeling? I mean, because there are different things you can do to help you, but you have to figure out a way that all that negative stuff you can't absorb. You cannot absorb it, because when you absorb it, it's going to end up that when you end up being around other people, you're going to find that you're aggravated, you're grouchy, you're snappy, and people are going to be like, what's wrong with you? And it's not that you're upset or you're just wrong. You just have taken in too much negativity, too much. So how do you deal with it? I mean, think about it. How often do you watch the news? Is there anything good? I mean, seriously, I watched the news one night. It went from a shooting to a fire to a car, someone being killed in a car, to a police violence incident. Then it went straight back to another shooting. Then it went back to somebody getting fired. The whole thing was just negative. The only break you get is the weather. And depending on whether you like it hot or cold, that might be negative for you. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just so much going on. How do you make the adjustment? What can we do to make the adjustment? But you know what? You stay right here. We're going to talk about it when we get back, and we're going to try to put a positive swing on this thing. You know what I'm saying? So we're right here on Simply Straight Talk. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And don't forget, we are holding our little contest, for those loyal listeners. Stay tuned to the show. You never know what you may win. This might be the show where you can win that prize. All you got to do is subscribe on the website. Hey, keep it tuned in right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Free your mind, free your voice right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best, and I know.
We're back with the conversation starter and the voice that works harder. Your host, Reggie.
Welcome back, Simply Straight Talk family, with the second half of the show. And today we are talking about politics and scandals. Have you had enough? Because I know I have. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much going on. Way too much. In the first half of the show, we talked about, we named some of the scandals. Everything from Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels, Donald Trump and his Twitter feed, Donald Trump and Russia, Donald Trump and North Korea and China. We talked about Hillary Clinton and his email, which Donald Trump still keeps bringing up. We talked about the hashtag Me Too and Harvey Weinstein. It's just so much going on. The police shootings, the school shootings, all of this stuff is just negative and consistent. But one thing that is consistent about being negative is Donald Trump. Hey, I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there, keeping it 100. All right. But we also talked about, are there ways to change this? What can you do? Because a lot of people say, well, just turn your TV off, turn your radio off, as we said before. But what are other things you can do? I mean, outside of locking yourself in a wall and never coming out. You know what I mean? So we have to figure out, what can we do? What can we do to change how we see things? Now, one of the things I noticed was that Sidney Poitier had probably one of the most profound messages in an interview that he conducted with Oprah Winfrey. And she asked him about his upbringing and how did he avoid the mindset that some people have. And I'm going to play that interview for you right here. So just hold on one second. Listen to this, and we'll come back with our comments.
I remember being in Mississippi, not believing what I was told was possible for colored people at the time. I just didn't believe it.
Clear.
And so the fact that you have been able to become what you have become in life, a part of that is that you didn't believe the dogma. You didn't believe what people said was possible for a Black man.
Well, from the very beginning, I didn't believe that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, when I arrived in Florida, everywhere I turned, that's what was being said to me. But you see, before I got to Florida, I had the opportunity through my mother and my dad to have set some kind of foundation as to who I was. And I was not what I was required to be in Florida. I was not that. I couldn't be that. I was taught that I had basic rights as a human being. I was taught that I was someone. I knew we had no money. Still, I was taught that I was someone. We had no electricity and no running water. Still, I was taught that I was someone. You see, I had very little education. A year and a half, in fact, was all the schooling I was exposed to. Still, I knew that I was someone.
Now, that was Sidney Poitier. And I'm telling you right now, that was extremely powerful. And that is something that not only we need to embrace in ourselves, but something that we need to embrace in our youth, something we need to do to inspire our youth. Because we don't rely on our older elders for wisdom anymore, because everybody seems to has the answers. Everybody seems to know what they want to do. They have all the ideas and you can't tell them anything. We have to also change that. Other alternative views of success is how we look at sports and entertainment. Because as of right now, a lot of people feel like the only way out and to positively affect something is to become involved in sports, become a basketball player, a football player, become an entertainer. Now, don't get me wrong. Actors, athletes, they can do a lot. They really can. They have a platform to lift their voice higher. But what if we taught our kids to see success as something different? Let's say, for example, if you want to create something positive, how about raising your child to understand that they can become a part of politics and make a positive change? They don't have to be like the people in this current administration. They can be something different. They can be something that's active to where they have a real opportunity to put their own footstep on communities, on neighborhoods, on state and federal levels. So we need to start kind of letting our kids know, like, hey, there's other things besides sports and entertainment. You can be a positive influence without being a celebrity. You can, because there's a lot of celebrities who are only in it for themselves. And some of them are only a positive influence when they need to resurrect their career because their name is sort of falling out of the press. So they all of a sudden become now this great, influential, and I want to help the nation charitable person, when really it's a marketing ploy to get themselves back out there. But we can change that, because you can raise your kids and teach your kids that they can become something positive and make a difference. Other thing is social media. Social media has so many negative aspects, but I have seen some positive aspects of it too. A lot of the challenges, for a while, they had the cinnamon challenge where everybody was eating cinnamon. I don't do none of that stuff. It was the ice bucket challenge of dumping cold ice on you and all that type stuff. But you can do things different with social media. You can create positive challenges, create challenges that encourage people, like, hey, if you got a kid who's doing all A's, post that on social media. Let that be a message. Every kid, challenge every kid to see who can get the best grades. You know what I'm saying? Or sing a song that's positive, or promote something that's positive, or have a challenge to where you got either kids or adults challenging other people. Like, you know what? I'm going to do 5 things positive today, and I'm going to post it on social media. And I challenge you to do 5 things positive and post it on social media. It doesn't matter how big or small. You can stand at a place and just open a door for elderly people, volunteer at a elderly home, go out, raise money, and give it to somebody in the neighborhood who needs money. Buy a bus ticket or a bus card for somebody else. It doesn't always have to be huge things. It could be something small, because you never know how to affect somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying? So you can do things, create challenges that are positive. Positive messages can say a lot. I mean, even if you're just sending something every day, no, you ain't gotta be every day, every other day at least. Make some effort. Find some positive quotes to send, find some Bible scriptures to send. The group of people that you associate with, the group of people that's on your social media, on your email accounts. It won't hurt you to send something positive. Send a positive, funny video. Send part of a scripture or something to let them know, like, hey, the world doesn't revolve around this crazy administration. It doesn't revolve around this violence, because you never know, if you send a message that's inspiring and give somebody hope, it may change their mind from doing something drastic. Because so many people have said that they thought about suicide or they contemplated suicide. They felt alone. They felt nobody cared. But just imagine if you just decided today, I'm going to send this person this message, or I'm going to send this person a text. Just imagine what you could do for that person. Just imagine how you could change that person's life and make a difference. All it takes is for you to put that little bit of extra effort in there. Because just like you're seeing all this craziness on TV and you're getting tired of seeing it, you're getting tired of all the negativity, you want something positive, share something positive. Because you never know, you might develop a trend to where you're sending something and they're sending something to you. You're doing an off trade. You're doing an off trade with each other. So you're sharing ideas, you're sharing good vibes, you're sending that positivity. Find a song that's positive and uplifting and send that. It don't have to be a love song. It could be a song about friendship. It could be a song about hope. It can be a song about inspiration. Or just, find something from T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen. Send that. There are ways to create positivity. And, like we said before, sometimes you just got to shut off the TV and the news. Go to a park and sit and relax. Read a book. Listen to some music. Just sit by a lake or sit by a pond. Find some place to where you're taking your mind to a place where your mind can just say, you know what? My mind is just going to relax right now. I'm taking a mental break from the craziness of the world, and I'm just simply going to relax. Because the ideas I'm giving you is not meant for you to be oblivious to what's going on in the world, but to explore the good in life and introducing yourself to the world around you and seeing that there are good things. There are positive things. Sometimes you can be caught up in so much negativity that you don't see that you have a good husband, you got a good wife, or that you're maybe missing out on quality time with your family. It could be a sister or a brother that you haven't connected with or talked to in a while. So you have to find a way to understand that, no, you're not being oblivious to what's going on, but you do deserve to establish some time in your life to take a mental break and just find some positive input, positive motivation for you. When I go to the gym and work out, yes, I have my rap music because you need something to give you some energy. So I got my rap music. I got what basically is rap music, but I got motivational speeches in my music. I even got some speeches from T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen in there, the motivational section. And it really does help me because, some rap music can be, a little rough, but there's some rap music that's actually positive, and having those motivational speeches from T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen, it takes my mind from the actual hustle and bustle and the rap pump you up to the motivational, inspirational, and guidance. So, hey, you should give it a try. But for right now, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Don't even think about it. We got more straight talk just for you.
Right, Simply Straight Talk family. We want to return the love you have shown us back to you. Reggie will be giving away great prizes during certain Simply Straight Talk podcast shows, so make sure you subscribe and listen to the show for your chance to win. Just imagine being able to take 4 people to the movies, a free night in a hotel, a gift card with cash for a restaurant, or one of our Simply Straight Talk podcast shirts. There will be other prizes as well. For more information, visit our website at www.rmviaging.com and click on Simply Straight Talk Podcast in the menu.
Are you ready for the straight truth? Reggie, what's the final word for today?
All right, Simply Straight Talk family, we are back with the final thoughts of today. And I really hope you enjoyed today's show, as today we were talking about politics and scandals, focusing on the impact of the negative aspects of how it can affect you. And you know what? All I'm simply asking is be mindful of what you take in from the world. Be mindful of what you bring home to your families. Because I know it can be real easy to get caught up in everything that's going on. Some people like the drama. Some people like the negativity. But what I want to ask for you is be careful. Be mindful that what you bring home that's negative will not have any benefits to your family, will not have any benefits to your relationship, and it won't have any benefits to your kids. You have to remember that life is filled with good things as well as bad. And oftentimes the bad things seems to get all of the big headlines. It seems to take precedence over the good things. But there are good things taking place in this world. There are good men and women who are doing things in this world, who want to make a change, who want to make things better. And even as we talked about like your social media, you can use your social media as a platform to promote some positive things. Like we said, send out some messages, do some quotes, do some Bible scriptures, whatever it is that you feel might encourage somebody. You may not always get a like or response back, but you never know what somebody else is going through. So sometimes just by seeing that or reading that or hearing you get on your, Periscope or whatever and just say something positive and uplifting, you never know whose life you're affecting. You never know how somebody might be sitting there contemplating that this is the end, they're tired, they can't do it anymore. But because you took the time to share something positive, someone has now found out that they have hope and they're willing to revitalize hope in their life. And they're willing to do something positive to move their life into a better direction and not just give up. With this administration in the government, everything that we see, yeah, it's funny. We get a laugh out of it at times. But you know what? Overall, we have to find a way that is not the only thing that we are absorbing into our household. So with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Stay tuned, stay positive, and keep those smiles on your faces, guys. Remember, life is more than bad. There is good also.
Thank you for tuning in to today's show. Be sure to subscribe for more motivational topics based on real-life conversations, and don't forget to rate, review, and share our show so we can continue to bring you the best in real-life conversations. Join us next week right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Simply Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, all right here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.